And what's up, everybody? DJ Yoakley with you with a few of my friends here. It is the YSN Power Hour, and we are about to get started. Guys, it is National Chicken Wing Day, and it's Wednesday, so naturally that opens up a lot of gates to a lot of discount chicken wings. Where is your favorite chicken wing from? What is your favorite flavor? Let's start with my man, Ty Bartell. What's up?
My favorite chicken wings are actually from Dickie's place over on in Youngstown, and it's always buffalo. Just classic buffalo wings are the best.
Awesome. All right, let's go over to EB with a new look and a new background. Ray Libel Sources.
Oh, yeah. Switching up to Ray today, felt a little sophisticated. Actually, some of my favorite wings are right in Columbiana. We have 3 or 4 spots in there. They're all equally as good. The American Legion kills it every Wednesday. I think it's 50 or 60 cent wings. You can do just about any flavor. My favorite flavor is called their Crazy Wing, and it's all the sauces mixed together, which don't knock it till you try it. But if you're ever in the Columbiana area, check it out on a Wednesday.
Is that the one right on 14?
Yeah.
All right, that might be a go-to for us. That might be a pop-up power hour if we can make it on a Wednesday. JB Thompson, all the way from Hubbard. What's good up there? What's your chicken wing?
Well, I'm kind of stuck between 2 right now. It's either our gangs is Forget About It over in Sharon, or here in Hubbard, Wings Reloaded with their dank sauce. So it's kind of a tie for me.
Wow. Okay. All right, Michael. What do you have?
I'm going Buffalo Wild Wings. I know it's a national chain, but I love going to Buffalo Wild Wings. They got some good chicken down there.
And welcome back to Rationable. What do you got there, Mr. Betos?
I would definitely do hot garlic wings, and the crickets would be my pick.
Crickets, all right. Q, what do you got?
It's Fratelli's out in McDonald. Their wings are great, and I mean every sauce is just really good out there. So I don't have a specific sauce.
All right, and Anthony with the sideways hat, what are you thinking?
Not much of a wing guy, so I'll give a shout out to our friends of the YSN down at Pizza Joe's with the great wings.
Yeah, they are fantastic. Potesta can polish off probably 2 dozen of those without even breathing. My favorite is Big Shot Bob's. I don't know if you guys have ever had BSBs, but they're all over the place, Western Pennsylvania, and now there's one in Boardman. I highly suggest, without giving them all a free pub, I highly suggest you guys check them out and try out the Black and Golds. Quinn, I know that we've already had the argument. Try out the Black and Golds. They are phenomenal. So let's talk about some sports. Let's start with the Class B recap. Jamie, you had a chance to do some of the games last night. You had the 16U where the Astro Falcons took both games in convincing fashion. They did the same thing on the 14U level last night as well. But the 18s is where it got interesting because Creekside he's got the Creekside hat on. Oh, boy. Mm-hmm. Creekside taking 2 games from the 18U Astro Falcons, which raised a lot of eyebrows around the league and around our studios here. Guys, can any of these teams rebound from down 0-2? And if it is, who has the best chance? We'll start with Jamie. You did the game. We'll start with you.
Well, if I'm being honest, I'm going to have to say the 18U Astro Falcons have the best chance to rebound. I know for Nightline, in 16U division, they threw 5 pitchers yesterday that were making their first appearance on the mound. They're simply just out of arms. You know, the manager knew it coming into the day. They really don't have much left in the tank.
Wow, okay. So you're saying the 18U Falcons coming back, the Nightline, we knew going into it, without Guy Young, without Jake Coral, it was going to be a tough series for them. Mike, you've got the call tonight for the 18U. Do you feel strongly the Astros are going to bounce back?
I don't know if I feel strongly, because I felt strongly that the Astros are probably going to take the first 2 against Creekside, and then, of course, Creekside shocking us all and taking the first couple of games. I don't know if I feel strongly, but I definitely feel like the Astro Falcons, if I had to make a prediction, would be taking a bounce-back game tonight against Creekside. But it's going to be interesting. I did not expect 2-0 Creekside lead heading into tonight.
No, it's very interesting. And Anthony, when you look at kind of the resume of the 14U teams, the Astros, Whiting, a lot of talent on that field, but the Astros taking control last night. Do you feel like Whiting can hang in this series, or do you feel like it ends tonight?
I think the thing that Whiting has going for them is out of the 2 divisions the Astros won, Whiting has been the one that has been scoring some runs at least against the Falcons. They scored 4 in game 1, I think 5 in game 2. So if they can just find a way to hold the Astros down even to 6 or 7 runs, and then find a way to just outscore them a little bit, then Whiting might have a chance to sneak up a game tonight. They definitely had the best offensive success against the Falcons.
I am super excited to see these 3 games in action. I think we play at least till Thursday. Somebody's going to come out on top, and I'm excited to see who kind of shocks the world. Guys, also in action last night, the 12U champions were crowned in Boardman. It was Signature Granite that was able to bring home the bacon, if you will. There's a picture of the girls right there, the 12U champs. Congratulations to them. A shortened season for everybody involved. But it's really good to see that the kids still have something to celebrate at this point. It's not all for a loss. So hats off to not only the folks at Sea Park, but the folks at Boardman Community Baseball, the Field of Dreams, for making kind of the kids the priority and allowing them to raise the trophy, so to speak. So when you look at this, I mean, the topic at hand isn't necessarily, is this a good thing for the kids, but do you feel better about daily life nowadays, boys, knowing that, you know, we're in the playoff season for baseball, for softball, and that we actually will have champions to come out of this season? Ty, we'll start with you.
I think it's just a great thing for the kids. I think that makes anyone feel better, that these kids at least were able to have a season after their spring seasons that a lot of their schools were canceled. I think it just makes everyone feel better that they were able to play. Everyone seemed to play in a safe manner. There was no outbreak within the league or anything. So everyone was able to play safe, and we were able to have champions and really kind of salvage the season that was lost for a lot of these kids.
EB, we'll go to you.
No, I like it. Whether it's baseball, we have some basketball going on. You know, you still see the football practices, so it's not a normal year. We were talking about this at basketball today, to where, you know, a lot of kids have had to do some things and be accountable on their own. But, you know, as much as we can, and just as a society, we've been getting them into, you know, the courts or gyms, on the field, doing whatever they can do. So, you know, 3 or 4 months ago, we thought it was all a lost cause, and now we're actually getting something out of it.
Q, you guys happy to see a champion being crowned in this?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody likes a winner, obviously. And I think giving them the opportunity to play for something kind of makes everything better in this situation that we're in, I guess.
Rationable?
Yeah, same with Q. It's exciting for the kids because they get to go out and compete and win a championship. That's what all sports is all about, is winning championships, and excited for them.
Mike, I mean, I think you'll see, you know, at least one champion walk through the press box tonight. Are you excited to see these kids hold the crowns up high and to crown a champion, or would you rather just axe the playoffs and just say, be happy that we played?
Hell no, I want to see a champion crown. That's what you play for at the beginning of every season. You play to win that championship. You play to win the playoffs every season. And now that you're seeing no outbreak, no extra delay in the season after the delayed start of the season, when you see the champions crowned, you think, you know, maybe we can keep using these protocols. No outbreak over the hundreds of boys and girls that actually play softball and baseball this year in the summer. But I think it's great to see champions crowned, because if you just say, you know, be happy you played, that's not how baseball and softball is played. It's played to crown a champion, and that's exactly what we did.
JT.
No, I completely agree, you know, and I wish some other leagues would have been able to crown some champions. I know our 9 and 10, our 11 and 12 over here in Hubbard, they had to axe their playoffs completely in that 304 league. So I feel bad for those kids, but seeing champions crowned, knowing that you got through an entire season and into the postseason, it's promising for me, because it gives me a little bit of hope that we're going to be able to have football and all these other great fall sports.
Anthony, put a bow on her.
We didn't see champions crowned in spring sports. It got axed. We didn't even get to see champions crowned in basketball. So for the first time since last fall season, we get to see a champion in something in this area with these kids, and that's just exciting. That's really exciting. And let's just say it's good for the adults too. It's good for the coaches to get back out there, because they put a lot of work into it. And it's also good for the parents to kind of get back to a sense of normalcy and see their kids get out of the house and start to, you know, watch their kids play again. So it's good for everybody. It's good for the kids. It's good for the adults. It's good for the parents.
Guys, we've talked a lot about the OHSAA. We've talked a lot about the Football Coast Association. There's a meeting coming up, I believe, on August 4th, where Coach Pavlansky from Lakeview, who's taken the lead on this and has done a fantastic job, is going to be meeting with the lieutenant governor and maybe some from the governor's office as well. The question that we've been dodging this entire time, by pointing the fingers, a lot of us, towards the OHSAA or whoever it may be, is what do we feel is the right solution for this fall sports season? And what I mean to that is, what is your particular stance on what should happen and why? If you're the governor of Ohio and nobody wants that job, naturally, what are you coming out on a press conference this Friday and saying to people that start potentially Saturday morning? Ty, we'll start with you.
Well, if I were in this particular situation, I would, like I've always said, I would axe the season just because it seems like not a lot of these schools are on the same page on what they're doing with their fans, with their attendance, with their practices. And I think that's the hardest thing to do with sports, is trying to do a season where not everyone is on the same page. Everyone's starting their season maybe later, earlier than others. I think it makes it harder. If there is going to be a season, I think what my suggestion always was, and I think Switka also commented on this yesterday too, is that if you shorten the season to only, I think it's 5 games, and you have 2-week break periods in between each game, or you just schedule in a lot more bye weeks for a football season. That way, if there is a team that comes down with an outbreak, there's a lot more options to reschedule games in the season. I think that's probably the best way to make it work if you're going to salvage a season.
EB, your thoughts on this? I'm really interested.
I think you work to have it, and even if you do a shortened season like that's been mentioned, to where you can push things out a couple weeks. You play a game, you have 2 weeks to prepare. One, that helps a lot of these small schools who have smaller numbers, which it gives you a little bit more control. I really think some of these schools that aren't making a decision, they're just sitting there. They're waiting for the governor or lieutenant governor or OHSAA, whoever, to make a decision for them, when I think in reality, the governor's kind of sitting there going, I kind of work for you guys. Remember this. You guys voted me into this position. So, you kind of have to – you got to make a decision yourself as well. So I hope we have it. Whether I still think you do away with the out-of-league games because you have a little more control. And I take – Coach Spate said this a couple weeks ago. He goes, if you look at our out-of-league schedule, we play a team from Akron, we play McDonald, which is 2 counties away, which was a hot spot. So you have 2 hot spots, and then you also play a team from Mahoning County. If you play a lot of teams in our county, or in our league, they're all in Columbiana County, which is not quite as, I guess it's yellow, where it's not a hot spot like some of these other counties. So you have a little bit more control, and at least these kids are all from the same area, per se. So I think you do away with the out-of-league. It gives you a chance to prolong the season a little bit, and you can still have playoffs. I think you have a lot of questions when it comes to playoffs. I think if you get into playoffs, then you really do limit it to sort of like what the OHSAA was doing for basketball, where it's, the parents only and maybe like 2 others, and you put the clamps down on who can come in and come out. But I would love to see for something to come out of this. I want to see if Pavlansky go in there and be like, look, majority says not only mentally for everyone's health, our kids' health, but we need sports. Football is a huge sport in Ohio, and let us be the ones to streamline and railroad our way through this.
And without, you actually took the word right out of my mouth, without railroading everything, I think there's an opportunity for to be presented about not only mental health, but also physical health. I mean, there's kids around, and I'm sure you guys are hip to the idea that there is abuse that goes on inside of homes, and sometimes sports is an outlet for people to get away or those kids to get away for hours at a time. When you combine it with school, there's an additional 6 to 8 hours that they have. So I think that this is the best option moving forward. This is the only regularity. Sometimes in really bad situations, this is the only meal that they may get. They may get a meal, during lunch or during breakfast, and then they might get, a dinner at night at their friend's house because they're already out. So I think there's a lot of questions and variables that go into this and reasons that they should play as opposed to just, trying to avoid what is a pandemic that 99.9996% of people survive. So sorry to take away your thunder there, Jamie. Jamie, go ahead and tell us about how, if you were the governor, how you would handle this.
Well, as much as we knock the OHSAA, and I mean, it's hard not to. They're supposed to be the leaders. I'd never want to be the guy making this decision. But honestly, if it was me, you just give it your best shot. Give it all your go. Pedal to the metal and see what we can do here. And kind of back to what you said, DJ, it'd be great to have a season. Mental health, huge. I had a teammate that couldn't afford underwear, couldn't afford socks. He didn't have electricity. He didn't have gas. Football was his escape, man. When he was on the field, he lived it up. He was having so much fun, and I really hope we get to have a season for kids like that.
Yeah, that's amen, man. I hope he's doing well. Mike, your thoughts?
I think that you have to look at what the NCAA did. They moved some games up to week 0. They add these 2-week breaks in between. Have a meeting with a lot of the other OSHA members. Do we think we can adapt this into the high school level? Because if you can, then you do it. Because even if you don't have sort of a bubble system that the NBA and NHL have, and that they are executing perfectly, they've had no COVID positive tests out of their last couple of rounds of testing. But if you think you can adopt that move some games up to week 0 and put 2-week intervals in between certain games, absolutely do it. If you don't think you can do that, if it's probably going to be game after game, 10 straight weeks of games for these schools, I think that probably a week ago you should have switched spring and fall sports, because even if you have to move those spring football, then you have to do it right back in summer. You're back to football practices. I think you might have to do it because over the summer there's been 500 kids that have been playing softball and baseball, and there has been no outbreaks among Class B or any of these Boardman softball leagues. So I think that if you can't adopt the week 0 plan that the NCAA did probably a week ago, you should have switched spring and fall.
Can we all just agree that week 0 sounds stupid? I never understood it. Don't get it. It's week 1. You know what I mean? That's what it is. So, Jeff Bezos, your thoughts?
If I was the governor, I'd definitely go on with it and put the 2-week period between games. And like you said, the biggest tricky thing is playoffs. If you have a 5-week season, and you have a team go 3-2. That team makes the playoffs. But I would definitely go through with it and keep going until you can. And then at least you said you attempt to have sports, and sports is a good mental vacation for everybody. For 2 hours, they get to do what they love.
Quinn, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if I was in charge of making the decision, I'd have to make sure I was really organized first before making any decisions. I'd make sure basically all my bases were covered so I could actually kind of have an outline for everybody to follow. But I would proceed with making sure that we can play.
Anthony.
Yeah, just to piggyback, I mean, everyone's really nailed on the head, but I think to go off of what Ty said first is you need a little bit of sense of control. I think in a perfect world, a uniform protocol would be huge for high school sports to make sure that every team's kind of at least has the same guidelines to follow. That way you're not worried about if you go to Alliance or whatever the place may be, maybe they're not following the same protocol as you are, and then there's that whole worry that you can't control every team. Trying to have a uniform protocol in place, that way you at least have guidelines that everyone else has the same, so there's a little bit of uniformity.
I don't think there was a wrong take on the entire panel here today, boys. I mean, it's no matter what the situation, no matter what comes of the decision, a decision has to be made, and has to be made soon. So hopefully that decision comes tomorrow, maybe even tonight. I know they threw a lot last night. We talked about it on Running Point about no team-to-team scrimmages. I mean, I don't think that does a whole lot for anybody right now, but other than confuse the hell out of everybody that is a part of this. Because if there's no team scrimmages, how do you expect to play in 4 weeks, in 5 weeks? To me, it's a precursor as to what is to come. And I feel like everybody's getting prepared and now starting to put out plans, like we talked about Ohio State yesterday, and it's all going to be for naught because the governor, you saw how upset he was. I went back and watched the tape after Paul told us how upset he was about Ohio State bringing out their plans. Ohio State is playing chess while the rest of us are playing checkers because they're down there, they understand what's going on, and they are now holding Governor DeWine accountable, in my opinion, for making a decision. So they're either going to play with the plan in place because they have one, or Governor DeWine's going to have to pull the plug. And I think everybody knows and sees that if Ohio State, the Ohio State University, says we're done, you are going to see the high schools in Ohio start to crumble like dominoes. So I think that's what Ohio State, give them credit, guys. They're being the leaders that we've been looking for this entire time. And like Batman, they swooped in, and now they're sitting on the top tower watching and waiting to see what Commissioner Gordon's going to respond with. So, or the Joker, depending on how you see Governor DeWine. More Corona talk. I hate to do this to you guys, but you look across Major League Baseball, the Marlins, 17 positive tests now. They are cooked for the weekend. Are they cooked for 2020 for good? Should Rob Manfred just take the Marlins and throw them on the Barbie and say, you guys are toast? EB, I know you're not a big baseball fan, but you got the brains upstairs and you got glasses on, so you look a lot smarter. Should we just axe one team and say goodnight?
I mean, it might be your only option. And my personal take is I think Manfred hates baseball anyways. So
it's a good take.
It's one of those things. If it's I don't know if it's addition by subtraction or not. If it gives you the chance to have a season by subtracting this one team, then I think you have to do it. But now you have to look at some other variables. Who just played them? Was it the Yankees or the Phillies or whatnot? Yeah. So you have to monitor them. If they don't have any cases, and I think you're okay. You just say, all right, Marlins, you're kind of on the shelf for the next couple weeks. We'll revisit this. We'll give you one more try. If not, then we're sorry. We'll see you 2021.
Is this a situation where we can go back to our old American Gladiator days, and when one person gets hurt, that we have an alternate, so we can bring in an alternate team?
I mean, why not? Let's throw the Mahoning Valley Scrappers in there.
Let's go Scraps. Let's do it. No, I mean, honestly, would it be bad? Like, wouldn't that be kind of interesting? Like, a team bows out, like that team's out, so you have to replace them with another team from somewhere on the map, and it's just random teams like the Gladiators used to do. I only say that because there's an American Gladiator channel on Pluto.
I guess my bigger question would be: so you have 17 people test positive. What they have, however many people, 35 or 50 on a team this year, whatever their rosters are, and the remaining say we're going to opt out because we just don't want to mess with it. So then what do you do?
I'll be honest. I think every team should have like an 80-man roster this year. And you're able, like, you got 17 that test positive, go get 17 more. It's just like poker, right?
Right.
Drop 3, discard 3, and then you get 3. So I think that would solve a lot of the problems where guys would have to keep working out to stay in shape. They could stay with the team. I don't know if that solves the problem or if it hurts you if you're the Marlins. But if you add 17 more guys, the team can stay in contention, and it also gets some names out there in your organization that maybe you can use to leverage it in a trade or two down the line. I don't know. Just some thoughts. Jamie, talk to me about where you're at.
I agree with you. If you go out because of COVID, just bring someone else in, keep them going as long as they want. And if the Marlins eventually decide that they don't want to play anymore, then just cut them out. So what? You got 29 teams, keep moving. The Marlins suck anyway, being honest. If it was the Yankees or the Dodgers, one of those big teams, then you could see a problem. But Marlins suck. It's not really going to affect anything.
I feel like we just brought in Bill Murray from Caddyshack. It was the looper.
Gunga Galunga.
Gunga Gadunga. Michael, you thought JB got a kick out of that one. We were going to go to Michael. He disappeared. Where did he go? There he is. He's back. Michael, can you hear us?
Yeah.
All right. What's your thought on this?
Well, I mean, the Marlins, JT said it, the Marlins are not really a good team, so I don't know how much this is going to affect baseball, but there were 60 guys that went to summer camp, a.k.a. spring training 2.0. Why not bring in some of those guys that didn't make the 30-man roster for opening day as kind of like a taxi squad, bring those guys around in case you have a scenario where you got 18 positive tests now. I think another guy tested positive this morning for the Miami Marlins. I mean, yeah, Paul Munson, I don't know what you're... I don't know what you're doing over there.
I can't take you serious.
Nobody can really take him seriously. But there were 60 guys that made everybody's spring training 2.0 summer camp. Some of those guys that didn't make the 30-man roster, I say bring them in after this weekend and roll with it for a week until you get some of those guys that tested positive back from after they get their 2 negative tests so that they can return to play.
Well, the way I understand it is teams are absolutely able to do that. That's a player pool, and that's why they're there. So I think that's what the plan for the Marlins is. They're going to sit out until Sunday. They have an off day on Monday, and on Tuesday, they'll just have to replace the players that are tested positive with their pool players. I think that the job right now is just making sure that Marlins players stop testing positive so they can get back to playing baseball. So they're just trying to contain the Marlins right now and make sure that the spread has stopped in that team before they resume playing. The Phillies are set to go. They've had no positive tests. So I think after this series with the Yankees, which ends on Thursday, I think they'll be good to go for the weekend. So I think as far as this situation would have gone,
here we go. Somebody's got the dogs. Who let the dogs out?
Paul.
Paul let the dogs out. Nope, not Paul.
That's not Paul.
So let me get this straight and bring this. I'll bring this to you, Quinn. I mean, if this was the NBA, because we know you don't care about baseball, if one team had all of the positive tests, should that team be booted out or should they be allowed to stay?
I mean, you would almost quarantine inside, create another bubble within the bubble, I guess. At least in the NBA.
How many bubbles do you get?
Well, I mean, you don't want to kick anybody out unless there's 2 teams that get affected, because then it just affects everything, the way scheduling and seasons work and all that. So, like in baseball, whoever the Marlins played, whether it's the Phillies or what it was, the Phillies. So if the Phillies then start testing the same way the Marlins test, then you just boot them both, because then it creates less of an issue for scheduling and all that stuff. Without one team, your playoffs get messed up and all this stuff gets messed up, because aren't the Marlins technically in first place right now?
They sure are, 2-1, and that's not saying a whole lot. That's like going 1-0 in the season and then being like retires champions. You know what I mean? I wish that I
Undefeated.
Really, for my Pirates, and Mike, you might have the same context. I think I said it on Running Point. If we're in a situation where the Pirates could win the championship, if they just like stay in their room, you know what I mean? If everybody else gets corona and they just kind of come out of quarantine and go, hey, we're still available. It's like the guy in the Royal Rumble for WWE where he comes out from under the ring because he never went over the top rope. Like, let's go, Pirates. Like, let's think smart. Play smart. This is your chance. Ty, you feel the same way?
Honestly, I think we can all agree that this whole baseball season is an experimental season. We're trying all kinds of things in this 60-game season, with the runner on second and, and extra innings, and then we're doing the whole 16-team playoff. It's trying things. And in seasons before, when a team suffers a bunch of injuries like the Yankees did, you don't boot them out of the season. It's one of those things where it's just bad luck at the draw, honestly. A team has a bunch of people that have, the illness, and they can't play, bring up these minor leaguers. It's a chance for you to see what your minor league guys can even do against major league talent pitchers, 1. And 2, it's a 60-game season where we know there's going to be an asterisk against whoever wins the World Series anyway. Not that we won't celebrate the World Series winner the same way, but we all know it doesn't hold the same weight as a 162-game marathon going into the playoffs.
Paul, welcome to the conversation.
Gentlemen, hello. Yeah, I mean, I would say, yes, there it is, Carl Spangler. So if you shake it off the hip a little bit, I would say, let it run its course a little bit with the Marlins. Like I said, quarantine those guys a little bit and let them back in, because somebody's going to say, well, they're not contenders. Yeah, I don't know what happened to him there. He rolled off the desk. I don't know what happened. He's going to pop up behind you. Just wait. He's going to come roll in behind you. Yeah, so you better look over your shoulder. To tell them that they're out, isn't fair either. So I'd say, let them take their quarantine for a little bit, come back in. But the bad thing is they've got 66 days to get 60 games in. That's going to be the tough thing. If you can't make those games up, then how do you justify whether they don't or do make the playoffs. So
Yeah, I think that's a valid point right there. Guys, we'll take a break. When we come back, a lot to talk about still. The bench is clear in Houston. Did we like it or did we not? Which side of the fence are you on? And what is the closest you've ever been to a bench clearing brawl in any sport? We'll also talk to you about things that you trust more than pro sports commissioners. Also, the question of the day and what we'll have tonight on YSN, along with the G. Burbick Farms What's Your Beef? All that and more on the YSN Power Hour, proudly brought to you by our sponsors as follows.
Hello, I'm Greg Burbick with G. Burbick Farms. For the last 100 years, my family has farmed in Columbiana and Mahoning counties. I began raising cattle in 1996 with the goal of providing a better product for you and your family on the dinner table. Our grass-fed and grain-supplemented Black Angus beef are raised with no hormones, steroids, or antibiotics. We're known for our hometown-friendly service and incredible tasting products. We're locally owned and have customers across the tri-state area. Our products go from our farm to your family. Stop by our farm on New Buffalo Road or visit us on the web at gburbickfarms.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook. G. Burbick Farms, it just tastes better.
Hey, my Ohio friends, it's Mike Ditka, and I know great talent and heart when I see it. I can tell you from firsthand experience, there are average real estate agents, then there are true champions. Kelly Warren is one of those champions, and you have her right there in your own backyard. Kelly outmarkets and outsells every agent in the Mahoning Valley. If Kelly can't sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to, Kelly will buy it. Get your home sold. Call Kelly Warren today at 717-2689 or go online to kellysoda.com and start packing.
Welcome back, everybody, to the YSN Power Hour. DJ Yoakley with you with a bunch of my friends. Ooh, we got a Flint Tropics. Is that a Jackie Moon jersey?
Yep, coffee black.
Coffee black.
ELE,
I need
man.
to get one of those. There was a guy named Munson in that movie too.
Oh my gosh.
Come on. What's up?
There he is. There he is. There was a guy named Munson right there.
Oh, boy.
All right, boys. Hey, in Houston last night, it wasn't a brawl. It was a bench clearing situation with Houston as well as Los Angeles. When you saw this situation kind of arise, it was a 3-0 fastball from Joe Kelly, who, to Anthony Hartwig's point, wasn't even on the team when any of this happened. Throws it behind Alex Bregman, and the rest. Are you in an aviary?
The birds are chirping.
Oh.
Anyway, Joe Kelly then strikes out Carlos Correa, and I can't do this. This is unbelievable.
Where are these wild animals coming from?
I think it's you.
It is not me.
Nobody else is sitting outside unless there's a bird at headquarters. I don't know. There's a dog. There's a bird. This is unbelievable. This is an EB left. He probably got eaten by a lion. This is nuts.
Oh, no.
Does anybody even care at this point that we're not talking about sports? We're worried about people's lives here.
Yeah.
How can you focus on sports when you got Paul sitting there like that?
Paul he's secretly at SeaWorld's aviary.
Yeah.
What is out there?
Not, I mean, there are some birds here, but I don't know where those damn wild dogs were coming from earlier. That's not my house. Trust me.
The birds are him.
I just heard a cow.
That's a cow. Somebody's hitting noises over there now. That's not-
Somebody's messing with us. All right, I see how it is. The Astros. Are you guys on board with the Astros, or do you want to see them perish? Let's start with you, Ty.
Honestly, I don't even understand why there was a bench clearing brawl. I mean, I get it. I understand why the Astros would be upset about that, but I mean, they had to come into the season expecting like this is going to happen, especially from the team that lost the last 2 World Series because of the sign stealing allegations of both the Astros and Red Sox. I want to see the Astros perish because I feel like anytime a team gets caught red-handed, I think they should perish, honestly, in a situation like that. I know you're on the opposite side of the coin and you want to see them go deep in the playoffs, but I like it. I like that the Dodgers even went on to win that game too, and I love the animosity in sports. It just makes for much better games too, and it just having that rivalry, a newly created rivalry now between the Astros and the Dodgers. It just gives us something else to watch more in sports because a lot of people had those games circled on the calendar as ones to watch when they were coming up.
What the hell is that bird, man?
I think that might be out my window, actually. Now that it might be out there.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh!
We got Coffee Black over there mixing it up.
All right,
they're closed too, so I don't even know what's going on.
let's go to the Birdman, Jamie Thompson.
Oh man, I'm all thrown off now. This bird threw me off. Yeah, beat the hell out of the Astros. I'm all for it. Throw it head. You got to. I mean, Manfred didn't do the job. People's justice. Go out there, throw at them. They shouldn't have cheated. So you get what you deserve.
Oh, let's go from one Yankee fan to the other. JB, what do you got?
Well, don't forget the pitcher that threw at Brightman. Everybody, he played them with Boston in the divisional round and lost to them that year in 2017. So I love to see it. You have to do it. They know it's coming. That bench clearing brawl was kind of lame. I'm not gonna lie. So let's punch each other a little bit. I know we have to keep social distancing, but punching each other is social distancing. But it's gonna happen all season, and they shouldn't. If you do it, if you're a team, you shouldn't get punished. Don't cheat and cost the Yankees the World Series.
Quinn, would you have redemption here?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, Manfred didn't do it like Jamie said. Manfred didn't do anything about it, and players are taking it on their own way to do it. I mean, let's not forget. I think wasn't Joe Kelly the one that completely airmailed a changeup into his window?
Sure did.
So that looked the same thing, just a different pitch.
Anthony, your take.
I'm kind of with you, DJ. I mean, when this season when it was supposed to start, I was kind of not on the Astros train wagon. I thought, people are going to hit them. But now I'm starting to kind of side with the Astros a little bit, especially the librarian over there throwing pitches at them. I mean, I get baseball has this rule, if you do someone wrong, you're going to hit them. Can we hit them in the back or the ribs? Let's not throw at people's heads.
Oh.
Hit him in the head. Hit him right in the ear hole.
Head injury.
Right in the ear hole.
Ear hole.
Right in the ear hole, right there.
I don't like the idea of throwing at someone's head. It's not something that I personally like. So many things can go wrong with that. And Correa took one high and inside, and then one almost hit his head. He kind of dropped and ducked under it. But to Kelly's credit, he came back and struck out Correa after those 2 pitches.
And then he made some stupid faces.
Facial emotions that I think a 3-year-old would kind of make with I don't know what he was doing over there.
I feel like I've heard that before. Where did that come from?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence there. I wouldn't mind if the Astros kind of went and proved everybody wrong and won without cheating this year. But then at the same side, I'm not opposed to hitting them as long as it's not thrown at their head.
Carl,
Hit them again, and hit them while they're down. I mean,
they only get one baseball.
It's
original.
No, I know. Hit them as they're on first base, throw over and accidentally hit them and they're on first base. I mean, listen, cheaters need to be punished. And if the commissioner can't do it, baseball's got unwritten rules. They'll take care of it themselves. And I was glad to see Manfred didn't come out and say, hey, if anybody throws at these guys, they're going to be punished. You didn't punish them for cheating, and they won a World Series. So how about you take care of business that aspect? Guys are going to take care of it themselves. It doesn't matter where they get hit. That's part of the game. You're going to hit them in the head, you hit them in the back, hit them in the butt. I don't care. Hit them. You know what? And then they'll learn. They're going to learn the hard way this year. And if guys don't hit them, then shame on them for not hitting them. I'm glad it was the Dodgers. I want to see it get done some more.
Very good. Michael, your take.
I think that if you're up a reasonable amount, then you can afford to let these runners on base all you want. Hit them wherever the hell you want to hit them. But hit them in a logical situation. If it's the top of the first, it's the top of the first inning. You're trying to get an early start. You got to get early dominance on the mound. You're just going to hit a couple of guys. You're going to hit Altuve and Correa back to back, get them on base. Springer comes out, makes you pay with a 3-run home run. Do it in the top of the 5th inning when you're up 3-0, and you can afford to let up a couple of base runners. But yeah, if you got a chance to hit them all you want.
Reliable sources.
I'm kind of with Sergeant Slaughter on this one. Dude, if you're the Astros, how do you not know this is coming? Like, don't get pissed because you got pinged with the ball. Like, you sat there and you cheated all last year, if not for years before, and you know it's coming. And especially the Dodgers, of all people, who lost the World Series 3 years in a row, one of them to the Astros. Yeah, I'd be a little pissed about it. And I'm with like Slaughter said, man. Hit them in the ass, hit them in the leg, hit them in the arm. Make them duck, throw it behind them, throw it in their dugout for all I care. Just make them know, like, hey, if you guys want to cheat, Manfred hates baseball, so he's not going to do anything. Like, here I am.
Would you rather see guys
that team
strike them out?
Lead the league and hit by pitches this year.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a manager, wouldn't you rather just see them finish the job, strike them out? Because listen, they cheated. They shouldn't have a leg up on you. Go show them that you're better.
No, you got to do better.
That's what I'm saying. If you're go up 4-0. Strike them out in the first 5 innings. Go up 4-0, and then plunk them.
My guy hits a home run, watches it, and then the next at bat he gets hit. I'm telling my guy, every time you hit a home run against that guy, watch it, because it's going to get you on base the next time. You're in his head. And that's what I tell him. I mean,
I'd say you hit him first, and then you're in their head.
Giving up a home run, watching the guy walk with it and watch it go. I'd rather see the pitcher strike him out next time, not hit him and give him another free base. If I was a manager, I would tell my guy, look every time, because you're going to get in his head, and he's going to make more mistakes because he's mad that you watched the home run.
Paul, let's say that a hit by pitch starts a rally and ends up giving you a loss. When every game is worth 2.7 wins or losses, is that a risk you're willing to take?
Well, I mean, if your team's like the Dodgers or teams that feel that they were screwed out of a chance in the playoffs or the World Series, absolutely. Absolutely. I need to get a whistle. That's what I'm going to get. I'm going to get a whistle. We need to take another break. I'll get a whistle out here too. Or I'm just going to get a 2x4 like Hacksaw Jim Duggan and just sit here on the porch.
I do think that if you are the Astros team, you have to, as much as everyone hates them, I think they need to embrace the bad boys rule. Do kind of what the Pistons did when everyone hated the Pistons back in the 80s, 90s when they were the bad boys. I think you just got to embrace the rule. I mean, we already saw when Bregman and Altuve gave their basically fake apologies to everyone. I mean, if you're the Astros, no one's going to like you anyway. Just embrace the bad boys role. As much as everyone hates you, just go out there and beat the most.
There's a huge difference between that, though. The Pistons just physically beat up on you. They didn't.
Well, absolutely. No, I'm not saying that they are the Pistons. I'm just saying, as far as the hate around the league that there is for this team, I'm not saying, because the Pistons never cheated. I agree on that. But I'm saying,
it depends on your definition of cheating. If beating the hell out of somebody so they can't get to the rack is cheating, then they cheated.
I mean, Bill Laimbeer.
They didn't get outside help to win a game for a World Series.
Well, I mean, just because what's outside help? Like, here's my thing: is the Astros, if they cheated, they cheated. Okay, they've been dealt with. They lost draft picks. If you feel so inclined to go after them, because I've been on this side of the coin. If you feel so inclined to go after them, you have to live with the consequences. Because guess what? They get a baseball too. So they can put someone that throws 98 out there. If you hit their guy, they can come back and hit you. So just make sure you're hitting the right guys, or in this case, the wrong guys, because if you hit one of their main players, and Alex Bregman is a pretty damn good player for the Astros, you hit him, be careful, because Dodgers, you have at this point, I think we all can agree you have more to lose than they do. Primarily a guy named Mookie.
But here's the thing: if you watch last night's game, after he threw at the guy, and then the bench is kind of clear and everybody's talking their stuff, the umpires warned both teams. So if you do it first and then they warn both teams, now you're sitting in the catbird seat because you know if they hit you, they're going to get thrown out. I know that's what Dusty Baker was pissed about last night because he's like, wait a second, we didn't even do anything. Why are you warning us? Well, they don't want retaliation. So, if you're that guy who strikes first and like, sorry, and now they get warnings, well, now you're in the driver's seat because now you're like, okay, go ahead, Houston, hit us so that you get your guy thrown out and we get the free base.
It's
do it first. Strike first.
What if you just wait till tomorrow and hit the guy in the next game, and then that's your retaliation? You're not warned anymore.
Why wait for tomorrow when you could do it right then and there? It's baseball. This is baseball, though. Baseball's been always like this, where you do something wrong, you get retaliated by, and it's a good idea that both the umpire warn both benches after that, and that's how it is.
Can we just admire the fact that Jeff Bezos has yet to have a error in his sentences so far?
There you go. Way to jinx it.
I had a little Red Bull, had two Slims before I got on screen, and I had a donut. I feel pretty good about myself today.
We're excited for you. All right, guys, it's story time. What is the closest? What is the closest you've ever been to a bench clearing brawl or a fight at a sporting event? We'll start with relayable sources down in the bottom corner.
Most recent would have been this past weekend at an AAU event. Actually, I believe Chris Huxahold got hit in the nose, but more or less it wasn't the players, it was the parents. Imagine that. And they were going back and forth and bickering about this and that. The referees kicked them out, and the wife wasn't too happy and kind of kept on shipping. Granted, this was happening next to the court right next to mine as my team was playing, and a couple people got thrown out. Some people had to be held back. I think a big mad mama bear was rather upset, and a fist kind of grazed Chris Huxahold's nose, and that was this weekend. I mean, a lot of my stuff probably comes to AAU, especially generally when you get in the later into the season, or tournaments 7, 8, 9 around May, when people they get a little yancy, I guess you could say. But that's a lot of mine. Nothing that's affected me directly or any of my teams, but that would be my story for it so far.
Michael, have you ever been in a bench clearing brawl?
No brawl. The closest I think we ever got was Indian Creek. We were down by a sizable amount. I'll put it that way. And things got a little chippy. I think a couple times in a row, this kid named Logan Kuzakowski, it was last year, he was going up for a couple of layups, and he got hit pretty hard in midair, and he came down hard. I think the second time, everybody on the bench got up. It was pretty close to a brawl, but no full-fledged, benches clearing brawl yet.
Jamie.
Well, for football team occasions, we almost fought 3 times, all during passing scrimmages. I almost got in 2 fights against Youngstown East back-to-back years. But I'd say the closest was baseball. We were playing at Akron Firestone, 5th inning. One kid hit a home run, kind of looked at him a little bit too long, whatever. So we get to the bottom of the 7th. He hits a ground ball back to the pitcher. Pitcher runs down the baseline, throws a hard tag on him. Kid starts going back and forth. Our one coach comes out. He was probably 70 years old by now. He was in the war, so he's badass. He came out there, and he was in the kid's face, and everyone just started surrounding him. Their dugout came out, and hey, I came from center field ready to throw a Superman punch on someone. I've been working my entire life to get in a fight. I'm just waiting for it.
Love it. Anthony, have you ever been close?
Oh, geez. There was a regional basketball game a couple years ago. There was a judgment call by the refs. Coach got thrown out, and one unnamed parent had to be physically escorted from the stands. And things were getting pretty heated in the fan section I was sitting in. So that's as close as I've gotten. It's been mostly the stands that I've been sitting in, some verbal altercations, but that's the first time I was really close to someone that had to be physically escorted from the gym because he was about to throw hands.
Sergeant.
I had two. I mean, there was one when I was in high school, but most recently as a coach, we were playing against Columbiana, and the score was a little lopsided, and I had a parent come out of the stands and, scream at me and tell me if I scored another run, he was gonna throw some punches. So I scored some more runs, and he didn't throw any punches. So.
You're really bad at ball.
Wow, that's. I mean, if he thought it was Sergeant Slaughter, I probably would hold back too. Just chirp at you. Q, what's the closest you've ever been?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of, like Bailey, a lot of our problems come in AAU. But for me, the first time, most memorable one for me came my sophomore year in high school. We were playing Niles. And hard foul. We had a guy that was kind of like the protector, if you will, on the basketball team. He was the center, and nobody really messed with him. He was a pretty big dude. He was a defensive tackle and all that stuff. So they got tied up. They got into it, and both of them got ejected. Our guy, and Niles' guy. Cops came, all that stuff. Parents didn't like it. Fans came on the floor, all stuff like that. But nevertheless, we beat Niles. So,
JB, I'm almost nervous.
It happened during mine. I was actually part of one. In football, we were doing like a drill in D line, and this kid named Billy Taylor came up and cheap shotted me a couple times, and I got up and I was like, Billy, you do it one more time, I'm gonna beep 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 your face in with my helmet. And he goes, oh, okay. And the very next play did it again, and I just got up and I swung and I hit him with I was punching him in his helmet. It's a dumb move. And Coach Jiggly walked over, broke us up, and was like, I said out loud, oh, I quit. I'm out of here. And he's like, you're not quitting. I was like, no, but. And then all of a sudden in baseball, one time at East Palestine, this kid was talking trash at second base. So I told him to go fornicate himself. And by the way, Jim Haynes did not like me when I said that. And he's like, nope. And I ran all next practice. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Those are the two. I was almost involved.
A second baseman, you say? Maybe someone I know.
I don't know the kid's name. I wasn't playing. I was in the dugout, and he kept talking.
Wait a minute.
Talking crap from the bench.
You can't.
Yeah, well, no.
You can't even
No,
start.
it wasn't even the bench. Full story. It wasn't even the bench. We were shaking hands, and we beat them I don't know. We beat East Palestine 15-5 or something.
Congratulations.
And it was a good one for us. We were excited. I didn't get
Everybody did.
And we turned around, and he was talking crap, and I just turned around and said, go fornicate yourself, and he was just left. And he's like, what are you saying? Yeah, I'm like, look at me, look at you, man. You're a second baseman. I'll break you over my kneecap and have a good day.
But I thought you said baseball was easy. Why aren't you starting?
Uh-oh.
It's so easy. It's so easy.
I'm sorry. Maybe the kid that played third base batted 325 and actually was really, really good.
But I thought it was easy.
19 go fornicate
I'm sorry.
yourself.
I was a terrible baseball player, and I knew I was a terrible baseball player. And baseball's an easy sport. Don't forget it, Michael.
By the way, there is a challenge before we get to Ty. Sorry, Ty.
Mm-hmm.
There is a challenge on the table. Have you heard about this challenge?
I did.
Do you accept?
Yeah.
So we will have Billy McCartney in 8
weeks from now.
Oh,
2 months from now.
I didn't hear about this challenge. Give me 30 seconds. What is this challenge? Wait a minute.
Wait, what challenge were you talking about?
I was going to challenge Michael to pitch against me, but.
Oh no, you've already been challenged, my friend.
Okay, go ahead with the challenge.
Yeah.
Billy Mack has challenged. First, he nominated a D1 baseball player that throws 92 to face you.
Can he hit him?
What's that?
Can Billy Mack hit him?
I don't know. We don't care.
Probably not.
What we care about is that you can't just volunteer somebody else. If you're talking the jabber, you got to get the gibber. So here it is. It is going to be you and Billy Mack 1-on-1, and look, Jamie stretching it out down there with the Flint Tropics.
I haven't pitched in a while, but I'm ready to go too. You need another arm out there.
So we've got people lined up to strike out the rationable resource, also known as Jeff Bezos.
Put me in that line.
Oh my!
You don't
There's
throw her
three.
enough. I got to do adults. I can't do little kids. I'm not allowed.
Oh boy. And on
All
the
right.
next note, we are moving on to
Whatever. He's just scared that a 16-year-old can strike him out.
I'm going to strike out either way. I know I am.
gosh.
I had no hits my senior year.
We're not turning this into the Jeffrey Epstein show. We are going. This is going to be things you trust more than pro sports commissioners. So in this round, you have to say things that you would trust.
You didn't answer the question, DJ.
What? Who's running the
Have
show?
you ever gotten into benches clearing brawl?
Yes, I have. I was 17 years old. Ty, do
You got to
do
answer
have
the
one
question
first?
too.
Oh, well, the only ones that I've never witnessed a bench clearing brawl, but this past season with Falcons basketball, 2 times where it almost broke out into a fight was when they played Talmadge and then Warren Harding. There was a lot of high tensions, a lot of jabbering going on between teams. One guy from Talmadge actually charged one of the guys from the Falcons once and got held back. There was some high tensions in those games, but that's about the closest.
I experienced one my summer of my going into my senior year. We had a team in Mill Creek. There was 4 kids from Palestine, 4 kids from Louisville, 4 kids from Mooney, a couple kids from Ursuline. We had a team. We were in the championship game, best of 3 series. We were at Newton Falls, and to this day, I think I'm still not allowed in Newton Falls because at the end of the game, we were going through the handshakes, and our scorers started fighting, which were some of the parents, and then it just turned into mass chaos. So like something you would see in a movie, and it was a Royal Rumble. Like the pitcher for that day, I'll never forget it. One of my good friends had his pants unbuckled, and he's throwing hang or clotheslines. We had guys throwing fists, people flying over fences. The coaches were fighting the coaches. The police came. It was a big thing. And then the next game was at Mill Creek, Rocky Ridge, and the parents were not allowed anywhere near the field. There was players and coaches only, and along the ridge line, along the hill, were armed guards in case there was a problem that broke out. So that was my experience. It was the best summer of my life by far. We ended up losing the series. Thanks, Johnny Simon. Because he went to Cedar Point instead of pitching Game 3. So that's near and dear to my heart, and I thought it would be a cool topic. So one word, things or people you trust more than pro sports commissioners, starting with you, Ty.
Viruses.
JB.
Restaurant owners.
Restaurant what?
Owners.
Okay. Let's go with Quinn.
1-ply toilet paper.
Paul.
Dr. Fauci.
Anthony.
The man behind the public library.
Okay. Let's go with Jamie.
Putin.
Wow.
Whoa.
Michael.
People driving a white van with a spray painted free candy on the side of it.
Oh, wow. Wow. And we'll go to EB.
Corona test.
Yeah, I'm with you. I trust wet farts more than pro sports commissioners. Interestingly enough, let's go to our final topic, the question of the day, the most exciting play in sports. What do you guys have? Let's go reverse roll. Let's go EB.
Most exciting play in sports, I'm going to go with the block to the shot. Cleveland, this is for you.
Okay. Let's go with Jamie. What do you got?
Man, I don't know. I guess I'd probably have to go with Cowboys versus Steelers. That was back and forth game. Zeke Elliott, a little screen pass all the way down the sideline into the end zone, baby.
Oh.
I was there for that game too. I thought we had it in the bag.
Oh, even better, even better.
Paul.
By the way, I like your shirt today too. I would say
I can't say the same for you.
Yeah, it's okay. I'd say a triple play would be the most exciting play.
Okay, Michael.
I don't know if you guys have seen this one, but the UConn-Cincinnati game where Cincinnati hit a 3 to take the lead with 0.8 seconds left, and then UConn hit a 3/4 scored buzzer beater right at the buzzer to go to like overtime number 4.
Okay. The stepbrothers in the corner.
You're up first.
Well, Bailey stole mine, so I'm going to go with a different one. It's Zeke Elliott's run against, I think it was Alabama, where he just busted through and was untouched.
Betos.
The fumble Ruski.
Ty.
The game didn't end the way I wanted it to, but Game 7 World Series, 8th inning, Rajay Davis's 2-run homer off of Aroldis Chapman to tie the game going into extras.
And mine is the inside the park home run. No matter which way you cut it, still one of the most exciting plays in baseball. Let's go to our tonight on YSN really quick, guys. We have Game 3s all over the place at Seton Park, and then we have the 10U championships at the Boardman Field of Dreams. I will have that coverage. Michael will have coverage on Field 1. Tommy Franken will have coverage on Field 3. It is Creekside looking to win the championship for the first time in the Don Pletcher era. So we'll see if they can do it or if Pletcher's Soldiers come charging back to take Game 3. And, of course, the other Astros, the 16s and the 14s, looking to close out their series. We'll see if there's a comeback in those series as well. Guys, it's time for that time of the show. It is G. Burby Farms. What's your beef? Paulie, we're starting with you.
My beef is that the Power Hour is not longer. I like the longer format we had before.
Okay, respect. On to Mr. Creekside.
Beefing with myself right now on that last question. I said Zeke Elliott's screen pass. I should have said Luke May's jumper to go ahead against Kentucky in the Elite Eight. I'm mad at myself right now as a Carolina fan. I suck.
Jesus, language.
Garbage defense.
Okay, that's better.
I think you just hit a chord with Quinn. Michael.
The fact that Jeff rode the bench in high school in baseball, and yet he still has the audacity to call it an easy sport. If you can't perform well at the sport, you have no right to call it easy.
And a 325 average is apparently Hall of Fame.
Come on, guys. Look at me. Do you think this is a baseball athlete?
Jeff, you got to stand up and do a circle. I don't think they know what you look like.
I'm not a baseball athlete. I'm a D lineman, a nose man. I was a grit kind of guy, all right?
I can't call soccer an easy sport. I've never touched a soccer ball in my life.
Yeah. Don't kill yourself there.
EB, help us.
I'm gonna go week 0. I don't understand why can't we just call it week 1? But like everything else, let's just call it week 0. Confuse the hell out of everyone and roll with it. So week 1, week 0, whatever it's called, my beef is with you.
All right, we go to the top brick. Let's go to Quinn.
Yeah, my beef is officially today, as of about 2 minutes ago, UNC fans.
Ouch.
There's 2 of them. I don't like either one of them right now.
JB, do
My
you want me to
beef
get close for this one?
Yes, please.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Mine is Michael trying to put me in a potty bag for the last 2 shows, man. I know I rode the bench in high school. I got it. I knew that when I played baseball. It's just the whole point that he can't let go of it. It's like an easy concept sport is actually what I meant to say. But my beef's with him. I think you can correct me now too. So.
Didn't say easy concept sport.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I 100% agree with what DJ told me that after the show, man. I 100% agree. But I don't take back what I say on the show. Only you do.
Ty, put a bow on her.
My beef is benches clearing brawls in football where someone is punching the other person's helmet. I don't know. That seems kind of like a rash decision.
By the way, did anybody catch this one? There it is, over on the other side. My beef. My beef is just with technology today. We're having trouble with the internet at Seton Park. It's not Seton's fault. It's not our fault. It's just the internet. We don't understand it. Having internet problems here today. And Anthony took off before the show was over, so that's a little bit of a side beef right there. So that's gonna do it for our show today.
His ride was there.
It was, but it's always here, and I'd appreciate it. It's kind of weird to just leave in the middle of a show, but I digress. So
hey, he had to roll, man.
that's gonna do it for our show here today. We appreciate you guys being a part of it, all our special guests, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Power Hour, brought to you by all our great sponsors. Thanks, guys, so much.